We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2108, and it's Friday. We're talking about using your own money to fund a real estate deal. Seems so simple. This is what Jill and I do 98% of the time, 99. This week, all week, we're talking about the 5 ways to get your real estate deal funded. This is the final installment of that. We talked about debt, equity. Go ahead, Jill.
No, I was going to say, I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know how you were going to run through all the days. I was going to say, when you said this is, what we do most of the time, because we can now. That's what I wanted to say. For years, we couldn't. For a long time, we couldn't. Or I had so much money, maybe 1 month I could, 1 month I couldn't, kind of thing. And I had to stretch it out, make it count back then. So now it's great. I don't have to worry about this.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. If you're new at this, you should absolutely utilize equity funding.
Yeah.
Within a group like Land Academy. If not Land Academy, people do it all the time. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to, if you're great at finding deals and don't have any money, which is what everybody hopes, you hope and I hope, you're going to get a bunch of deals funded with people in our group until you don't need it anymore.
Exactly. And then you're the funder.
Yep. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular requests.
All right. So Santil wrote, "Hi, I'm looking for funding. Great. On a nice neighborhood in South Carolina. Buy for $60,000, sell for $120,000. High dollar houses and land in this area." So let's see if there's any more thing. So the purchase price, $60,000, and said South Carolina, got the details here. Has 2 brokers that both said the estimated sales price, they feel good at $120,000. It's 1.3 acres. It's a house zoned for houses, SFR kind of thing, rural or so residential basically. Water's available. It does need a septic tank. It's not in the wetlands. No flood zone, so that's good. There's actually a small stream on the land. At the edge of the property, requires a 50-foot buffer. Not bad. It's still 1.36 acres, so that's good. Has access. There's some slope, but buildable. And he put in some maps, GPS coordinates. This is great. Seems to fit all the 8. So they've really thought this through. It has access, acreage, affordable, attributes, alive, adjacent. All of that's all in there. So this is great. Good.
There's a ton of these.
Now I got to go look it up. I'll be right back.
There's a ton of these in Discord.
Yeah.
Because it's the beginning of the year, New Year.
Good.
And this is exactly the right way for you to create. I saved it till Friday. The right way for you to create a ton of wealth when you don't have a lot of money now. All of us started with no money. Mm-hmm. If you're lucky enough to have inherited a bunch of money or have access to a lot of money with no strings attached, like inheriting money, good for you. You're in a huge minority. But for the rest of us, me included, I had to raise capital in the beginning, and I did. And I raised it just like this by finding amazing real estate deals, getting somebody to partner with who I trust, and completing the real estate deal as quickly and efficiently as possible and returning the capital. Also, I can go do it again.
Right.
Jill and I built Land Academy not to make money selling education. We built it for deals just like this. So we can participate in deals like this. And like she said, we can raise capital ourselves because we were way back in the day, constantly running out of money. We had more good deals than we did money.
Yeah.
And it's the reverse now. We have a lot more money than good deals. So we're giving back. Mm-hmm. The whole goal is to use your own money to make real estate or financial decisions. It should be your goal too, no matter what business you're in.
And that's today's topic.
That was the topic.
Friday. I'm like,
do you have anything to add to that?
Just using your own money. No, let me think here. I mean, that's true. This is a common thing. I now and then will help and, take calls for people thinking about joining Land Academy. In the beginning, I was the phone call person. Now I have people that also answer questions on our staff. And that's one of the number one things is I don't have the dough. How much do I need to get started? totally a great question. You need to know what to get into, what you need to get into this, I should say. So you don't need money for the deals. That's it and so start. And I tell people this all the time. This is a natural progression. You just need 5 or 10 grand to get started, get the education, be able to afford to download some data, send the mail out. Those are your biggest expenses. Let them come back, pick the best ones, use us to fund them until you don't need to, and you think about it. You do a handful of deals. Say you do 5 deals where it's buy for 50, sell for 100. I'm just going to make it really easy. Buy for 50, sell for 100, and we're splitting the profit. You are brand spanking new, and I'm really helping you allow a lot of that, and you feel good about it. So 5 deals at you netting, $25,000 a deal. Now you've got $125,000 in the bank of your own money. You're going to quickly say, Jill, I don't need your money now. The next 5, I can fund myself. Like, yeah, you can, or the next 3 or whatever you're doing. And it just keeps building and building, right? And then you come up for air, you put your head down, do everything that we said, you come up for air, and it's, 6 or 9 months have gone by and you have $500,000 in your bank account. Now you're going to start going, maybe I start being the funder for some other person needing deals. And that's how it goes. You learned, then you didn't need us. And now you're like, now I'm going to help somebody else. And I'm going to put, $200,000 of my 500 aside. I'm going to keep doing my own deals, and I'm going to fund somebody else's deals, and then watch what happens. Now the end of the year comes along. Now you got $1 million in the bank, and now you start, making different decisions again. It sounds like, what? It just sounds too easy. Well, there's a lot of moving parts, true. But in the big picture, that's what can happen and does happen.
For as long as there has been money, people have been doing exactly what we have created here.
Yeah.
But not everybody has had access to it.
True.
So you hear all this stuff this day and age about people having more, based on all kinds of things, more entitlement, more access to things, in the simplest form. Some of us, not me, and I'm pretty sure not Jill, we're not lucky enough to be born into some type of legacy where I could become 18 or 19 years old and go to my parents or my family or whatever and say, I have this great idea. I've proven myself over and over, and I need about $25,000 to do this. And if you want, we can do it together, or I'd like your advice or all of that. We were not lucky enough to be involved in that. But that's how second and third and eighth and 10th generation wealth is carried on. And very few people had access to that. That's just not the case anymore. Jill and I created this specifically so we could be the people who are providing access to all this.
That's such a good point, that it's almost like the Land Academy family is your legacy family. I didn't think about that. I mean, sure, you can go off and learn, take everything. People have done this. Heck, we've been doing this podcast now going on 10 years. Many people have said, I got this. I've just been winging it on my own. Well, that's great. And they've probably been successful. But how much more successful could they have been to be part of a group where they had way more access to funding and then way more opportunity to do deal funding? I'm going to argue, if you've been doing this quietly on your own on the side in the last 10 years and you've amassed $2 million, you probably would have had 10.
That's correct.
Or 50.
I agree with you.
And
Jill, completely.
And it's not too late.
Yeah.
So we can help.
Still do partnership deals now.
Mm-hmm. All the time. I will never not do partnership deals. I'd be an idiot to go, I don't need anybody's money.
Yeah.
Or I'm not giving out any of my money. Really? That's dumb of me to think that. I would be losing out if I'm not funding anything if I'm not funding or being a part of any deal out there that makes sense. Period.
We do. We send a ton of mail out every month, so it's very possible, and it has been the situation where we'll send the money deal out. It's happening now, specifically in the beginning of 2025 here, where we'll come up with 10 deals that cost $500,000 each, especially with houses, where we need $5 million, and they're quick turns and easy deals. Mm-hmm. And so we seek funding within our group to do that. And people come out of the woodwork saying, I want to be a part of it.
Yep.
And so you can, on both, whatever side you're on one of those two sides, or on both sides. Like, so a lot of times we fund the deals ourselves, or we'll bring in somebody else if somebody brings a deal like that, if it's so big. It just has to be a great real estate deal. I've said this a million times. Your job in life is to come up with great real estate deals. That's it.
Yep.
You have one job, one single professional job. And if you can do it well, come up with great real estate deals, you're going to be extremely wealthy.
Yep. That's it. Everything else falls into place.
Yep. Join us next week for 5 more interesting episodes. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.